The following audio may contain the personal testimonials of some Optavia coaches or clients of Optavia. The results relayed in these messages are based on the unique experiences of the participants, and we cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. While you may be inspired by these accounts, please note that any stories of success have not been verified, and your individual path to optimal health will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you consult with a healthcare provider before starting a weight loss program. Yours in health, the Optavia team.
Hey, welcome everybody. If you just joined in with us, we'd love for you to post a comment in the chat feature and let us know why you decided to join the webinar tonight. We're going to be talking about the topic of defining your why and clarifying your bigger life plan and some goals that are motivating for the future. But today, we'd love to see why you decided to join the webinar, just to see what is on everybody's mind tonight and what they hope to accomplish. Great. Dig into your why. I like it. Miriam, welcome. First timers, welcome. Great. If you just joined us, we have everybody finding the chat feature and putting in the reason why they are watching this tonight. Whether you're watching the recorded version after it, you can still post in the comments in the YouTube channel. But if you're watching live tonight, we'd love to see why you decided to join tonight.
David, I'm seeing a lot of newbies. This is my first time. This is my first call. That's fantastic. Welcome.
That's true. We love to see this be their first one, Nick, because this is going to be an extraordinary event.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we've almost got 1,000 people that have joined us, Nick. So you ready to go ahead and kick this thing off?
Yeah, let's do it.
Awesome. Well, thanks everybody. My name is David Bush, and tonight I get a chance to be your co-host along with the wonderful Nick Fry. Nick is a licensed counselor and a certified health educator, and we just like to call him around here the bomb diggity, because the man knows how to help some people define their why. And if you just joined us here for the first time, welcome. We have a variety of people that are joining us here tonight. We have guests. We have people that are clients of our Optimal Health Coaching Program. We also have health coaches and health professionals. And there's a wide variety of different people that are in different stages of their journey. So you may hear some comments in regards to programs or meal plans today as we're talking, but we want to make sure that you check back with the person that referred you here so that you can get clarity if you have any questions or concerns about anything that was talked about tonight. But tonight we are going to be talking about defining your why, and we're going to be tapping into Nick's expertise and his an enormous experience in helping people to get clarity on their why and really help you to understand why it's so important to get clarity on it. We're also going to be talking about how to create and clarify your bigger life plan. As we start seeing people get healthier with our program, we like to awaken them to an idea of living an optimal life with optimal adventures and optimal experiences. And so tonight's going to be a two-part show. And tonight we're going to kick it off with Nick and have him tell you a little bit more about his background, and he'll start getting into defining your why. Thanks, Nick, for joining us.
Well, thanks a lot, Dave. I am just so excited to be here. I've got some fantastic information to share. And then Dave said, this is a two-parter. He's got some fantastic information to share. We're collaborating this evening. It's like the superhero team up of the century. I'm so excited. I love how David, he always talks about like going on adventures, and I can't wait to go on an adventure with everybody this evening. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to share my screen so everybody can see what I am seeing. Hopefully it's gonna work. There we go. Get that going. Okay, so hopefully everybody is looking what I'm looking at. We're looking at the title screen here. So we're going to be talking about finding your why tonight, how to awaken your motivation to build long-term sustainable health. And it's going to be a fun trip, fun journey, fun adventure, as we said before. So thank you so much again, Dave, for the introduction. For those of you who have never met me before, have never seen me, those of you who don't know me, my name is Nick Fry, and I am the behavioral specialist with Optavia. I'm a licensed professional counselor and a certified health education specialist, and my role really is within the Optavia community. I'm a resource for Optavia coaches. I provide service and support. I provide behavioral health related information. I provide coaching skills recommendations. Really, my area of expertise is all things related to psychology, emotions, behaviors, any and all things that deal with the mind and the behaviors throughout your journey towards transformation. Well, so that's a little bit about me, but let's get right into the topic because I'm really excited. I've got a lot of information to share with you all. So let's first start with why find your why. Why is this even important to find your why? Maybe you've been around for a little bit. You've heard your coach talking about finding your why, what that really means. And what we define that as is it's the most critical first step in lifelong transformation. It's understanding why you want to get healthy. And this isn't just healthy in your body. It's healthy in your mind. It's healthy in your finances. It's healthy in all those areas and aspects of your life to create optimal health, right? And it is this why is the foundation on which long-term sustainable health is built. And we're going to talk about why it's so crucial, why it's the foundation, why it's the first thing that you want to do, why it's what you want to build your health house on, right? Because this is finding your why makes the difference between yo-yo diets, quick fixes, tips and tricks that you use for a while and then totally discard. So I'll give you all a personal example. I have struggled for many years with procrastination. And one of the ways that I so beautifully procrastinated was I would go on the internet and look at ways how I can stop procrastinating. It was just this wonderful way that I could get out of actually doing work. But I would learn tips and different tricks, how to manage my time better, how to just rustle up 20 seconds of courage and just do the thing, all of these tips and tricks. And they would always just fade away after a while. I would just discard them because I never really found my why. Why do I want to stop being a procrastinator? And until I found that, I kept falling back into old habits of procrastination. So it's so important that we find our why. Well, now that we know why you need your why, what is your why? Well, you can think of your why having many different components or many different ways to look at it, right? Why includes importance. Why is this important to you? Why is it meaningful to get healthy? Why is it meaningful to make these changes in your life? It also includes willingness. Let's face it, sometimes making these changes is going to get tough. It's going to be hard. So are you willing to go through those challenges because the end result, because the healthy life you're seeking is worth it, right? Why also includes your values. What's meaningful to you deep in your heart? Why can't be a surface level thing. It can't just be like, oh, I want to feel better. No, not good enough. You got to go deep down into what is personally meaningful to you. Is it God? Is it your family? Is it service to others? What is it to you deep in your heart that's truly meaningful? What about your purpose? What are you aiming at? What do you want to accomplish in this short life that we all have, this short time we have on this planet? What is your purpose? And how does that contribute to your why? And finally, what is your identity? How do you see yourself? Do you see yourself as a healthy person? Do you see yourself as a role model, as a person contributing to other people's self? Maybe a future Optavia coach right there. How do you see your identity? And all of these things together can help contribute to you identifying your why. Identifying your why. So let's kind of get a few people over in the chat here. If you've identified your why, let's hear it. Let's see it over in the chat box there. Have you identified your why? What is it for you? Is it your family? Is it being a good role model? What is it for you that really makes, that really drives you, that really motivates you in this journey? I'm going to take a look at the chat here and see what we got. I want to be present in my life. Your daughter, my why is to be I feel like there was an ellipses there that didn't get filled in. I see God, I see health, I see travel, I see being an inspiration to other people. That's one of my favorite whys. I love when people want to be an inspiration to other people. This is fantastic, fantastic. Keep those whys coming in, and I'm going to keep moving. So let's talk about what won't work, right? We talked a little bit about what will, values, purpose, identity. What won't work? Well, being ashamed of how you look, or feeling guilty about any issues you have with food, like emotional eating or stress eating, or feeling bad about your behaviors. You eat too much, you move too little, you don't sleep enough. We're going to change all these things in this program. We're going to transform all of these things. However, feeling bad, feeling guilty, feeling ashamed doesn't create sustainable change. Here's why. In the grand scheme of things, emotions are fleeting. And motivations driven by emotions, they're not sustainable because that motivation then is fleeting as well. And your why needs to be built of firmer stuff. So it can't just be, I don't like how I look, or I feel bad when I look in the mirror. Gotta go deeper. Dig down deep into your values, your purpose, your identity. And you want to allow your why to lead. So oftentimes when we start a program like this, when we join Optavia, we think about, oh, I want to lose 30 pounds. Maybe that's a really good goal we have in mind. I want to lose 30 pounds. Then we decide what we're going to do. Okay, I'm going to follow the program. I'm going to eat right. I'm going to exercise. I'm going to get that 8 hours of sleep per night. And then I'll become the person I want to be. However, this is actually backwards. This is not the order we want to do this in. We need to flip it and reverse it. Instead, begin with your why. Begin by orienting yourself towards health, right? This health orientation of being an active and healthy person. Perhaps this might be your why. Be a healthy role model and inspiration as others. I told you that was one of my favorite ones. I used it as an example right here. So that's a really good why. And you want to begin with that why, with that health orientation first. Once you orient yourself to your purpose, your values, what's important to you, what's meaningful to you in your life, that then leads to healthy behaviors, making those healthy choices, moving your body, making sleep a priority. Then once you have this health orientation, your why is leading you into healthy behaviors, all those habits of health, then you'll receive those outcomes and those results and those goals that you're seeking. So if you began with a goal in mind, that's not wrong. It's just you want to take it a few steps back and find out what your why is. Dig down deep into it. So here's just a few questions that might help you to find your why. So first and foremost, you want to be clear about what motivates you and why. Why did you initially start the program? Why does your health really matter to you? What are you most excited about accomplishing? Maybe it's a fitness goal. Maybe it's being able to get down on the floor and play with your grandchildren. Whatever it is, what are you most excited about accomplishing? And how do you see the creation of sustainable health changing your life? How do you see it different? Get that vision for yourself in the future. What does that look like? A few more questions. You want to be clear about the impact. So when you begin this program, when you begin this journey to transformation, how do you think it will affect your health immediately? How does drinking 64 ounces of water today make you feel today? How does going to a yoga class today make you feel today? Think about the immediate impact of these decisions. How about how will you be affected in a year? How about 5 years? What would your life look like? Maybe you'll be sitting in Dave Bush's position here, right? Coaching people, living an optimal lifestyle, right? Maybe that's where you're looking to be in 5 years. But it's not just about you, is it? When we're talking about why, it always includes other people. So how would this affect your loved ones immediately if you were eating healthier, more active, getting sleep, less stressed, more motivated, happier, feeling more joy? How does that impact your family? How does that impact your friends, your coworkers? How does this impact them next year and in 5 years? So don't just think about how it impacts you, but how does it impact others? And then finally, you want to be clear about the challenges. Are you worried that you might struggle? Are you worried that You're going to have to give things up. That's okay. Acknowledge your doubts and fears and insufficiencies, because you know what? A strong why can overcome these things and lead to long-term sustainable health. That's why it's so important that we build our foundation of health on a strong why. It's got to go deep. It's got to go to the heart of things. It's got to go right to the center of you. What's meaningful? What's your purpose? What do you value? Those answers are going to be a strong why, because you can always go back to that foundation when it gets hard, when it gets tough, when you struggle, when you feel like, you know what, I'm not sure if I can do this. You can always go back to your why. You can always go back to your why. Now, the final thing I'm going to be talking to you all about right now is why all we need? Well, your why is crucial, but insufficient, because you have to keep moving beyond your why. You have to keep coming back to it and keep moving beyond it, right? Because you also have to build confidence. And there are two very specific ways to build confidence. The first is something you're doing right now, engaging in the Optavia community, right? Engaging with your coach, engaging on these support calls, hitting that chat button, conversing with people, getting on social media, sharing your story, connecting with other people, asking questions. Engage with the Optavia community to build your confidence. The second way is to keep increasing your skills. Maybe you're engaged in the micro habits of health, and I hope that you all are, because they are small but potent ways to begin your transformation, right? Maybe you are just standing 2 extra minutes a day. Maybe you're just drinking 1 extra glass of water per day. Maybe you're just cutting back on the caffeine after noon. Whatever the micro habit of health is that you're working on, continue to build on those. And as your skills increase, your confidence increases, and then you feel more motivated. So you got that why, that deep, meaningful why. You're engaging with the Optavia community, and you're increasing your skills as you continue on, because you're going to continue to face challenges. You want to set new goals, because if you're not setting new goals, boredom leads to relapse. I used to be an addictions counselor for many years, and that was the #1 relapse trigger back to addictions was boredom. They didn't have new challenges. They didn't have new things that they were facing, new enemies to battle, new villains to overcome, however you want to put it. I play a lot of video games, if you guys don't really notice, but I read a lot of comic books. So you always want to be setting new goals, because boredom is a trap you don't want to fall into. So I think we've got a little bit of time before I switch over to David here. I want to see some more things in the chat here. Have there been any challenges that you've been able to face by going back to your why, by going back to what's deep and meaningful to you? Boredom leads to relapse. That's it, Kathy, exactly. So you want to make sure that you're seeing these challenges before they come. Have you seen these challenges? Let's see some of these challenges maybe some of you have overcome in the chat box here. Let's get that going, because going back to your why, that helps you to overcome these challenges. This is fantastic. Boredom, yes. Frowny face on the boredom, right? Frowny face on that one. I love that one. Major loss of money overcame by your why and pushed forward. That's amazing. I need to set more goals. Or maybe stress. Stress was somebody's challenge that they overcame. Depression and family loss. Excellent. These are very real challenges. Continue to go back to your why in order to motivate yourself forward. Fantastic. Fantastic. So we're going to move into the next phase, because Dave here, he's going to be talking about, as he said in the beginning, living the biggest life possible. I love that so much. He's going to be talking about having bigger goals, thinking beyond the scale, and how you optimize your health in all areas of your life. So Dave, I'm going to turn it over to you, but I guess I'll keep the controls here, so you just let me know when we need to switch slides.
Yeah, go ahead and go to the next slide if you would. Thanks, Nick. Man, I tell you, that was so awesome what you just shared. And man, I tell you, we could probably just dwell on that and shut the thing down from here and be good for the next couple of days or weeks maybe. But I'd love to just kind of take some application to what you just said and share a little bit about my story. And my personal journey in the last 10 years of losing 100 pounds with our great Optimal Health program, and being able to learn some of these principles through our Habits of Health system in our community and our program. You see on the screen, for those of you that aren't online, I've got a picture of myself 100 pounds overweight. And, when I first came to that point, I was, what I would consider to be a pretty successful person. I wasn't necessarily healthy physically, but I had a lot of other things in my life going well. But I had gotten to the point where I had lost my why. Never found it, actually. Never found a reason why to overcome the significant challenges to lose 100 pounds. And it was basically coming in contact with my friend who had lost 50 pounds, who had become a coach with this great program, that I began to think that I could do it because he had done it. I didn't really have a strong why. I had a strong disgust. And Nick could probably agree that disgust is a great starter for some people. Disgust can be the thing that gets you started. When your pants don't fit, when you get that extra medication or whatever it is that kind of provokes you to change, it's not a bad catalyst that provokes or speeds up a significant change, but it won't keep the fire lit if that's all you got. But that got me started, and what got me started kept me going for a few months because the results were so amazing that I got to the point where I was accomplishing things that I had never dreamed possible. And when I lost the 100 pounds, it was a major accomplishment, something that I had never thought I was even capable of doing. But if you go to the next screen, Nick, this is what my coach told me, is that, Dave, once you understand what it is that you want and why you want it, you also have to be constantly coming back and measuring where you are in comparison to what you ultimately desire in your desired outcome. And Dr. Anderson talks about this in the Habits of Health system that we use as a educational program. And he talks about, creating a desired state or desired outcome, and always coming back and reflecting and measuring where you are. And what this was so appropriate for me in my journey was, I had achieved something that I didn't believe was possible. And I had gotten to the point where I was beginning to allow myself to become more comfortable. And maybe some of you can agree or understand kind of what I'm talking about, is that once you get rid of that problem, you rest into somewhat of a state of complacency because you feel so good. And maybe you're in a midway point of your journey, or maybe you've had some progress in your health or your life, and now you're kind of feeling good about things, but maybe you don't have as much of that tension that's going to cause you to do some of these things. And so if you don't have a clear why, you may end up kind of hitting a plateau and maybe even sliding backwards a little ways. And that's what I found after I had lost the weight, Nick, is that I got to the point where I had lost a little bit of my edge. I was kind of like some of those addicts that you talked about, where I needed a new battle to fight. I needed a new goal to set. And that's where I really want to focus the remainder of this session, is to really focus in on creating your bigger, optimal life plan. Most people, plans kind of scare them off, but in Dr. A's Habits of Health system in chapter 21, he talks about creating well-being in one's life. And if you go to the next slide, Nick, what shows up on this screen is the concept of creating well-being to bring you to the center of all three aspects of the trilogy: healthy body, healthy mind, and healthy finances. And there's some basic statements or phrases that are inside of each one of these circles that give you an understanding of what maybe could be used as a goal or a dream that you'd like to accomplish. But they're general in nature. And so the questions that we like to ask clients and people that are doing our program or coaches is that we like to ask the questions, what is it that you really want? And I love the idea of just taking the concept of having a blank sheet of paper, and at the very top you write the word why. Why do you want to live an optimal life? Why do you want to be in optimal health? And go through some of the questions that Nick just clarified, but then to go below that, or take a separate sheet of paper and say, what would I really want to be, do, and have beyond losing weight, beyond getting fit? Because at the end of the day, a healthy body and a healthy nutrition plan is simply a means to an end. You may feel great being healthy and thin or active, but at the end of the day, those are oftentimes a means to something greater, if you have something greater to chase. And if you don't have something greater to chase, we live in an unhealthy environment. We live in an unhealthy society where we're constantly being marketed to, and we're being pushed in social situations to drink more, eat more, exercise less. And so oftentimes we can fall prey to an unhealthy environment if we don't have something that is pleasurable, that keeps us moving, and is something that's specific. So some of you declared or defined your why as being healthy for your grandchildren. Why is that important? And what would you like to do specifically? Would you like to take them on experiences? Would you like to take them on a trip around the world? I've got a friend right now that's going to every baseball stadium in the country with his college-age son. That's something to stay healthy and active for. That's something to make healthier choices, to be active enough to do that. I saw somebody here that posted, I want to be healthy enough to do a 50th anniversary in 18 years from today. Hey, that's vision. That's giving yourself something to chase, something to keep you motivated to. And once you know why you want to do what it is that you want to do, you'll not only become more motivated, but you'll also have milestones. You'll have goals of what it is that you really want to accomplish, and you'll have things that you can check off. And once you know why you want something and what it is that you want specifically, then you can go in and put some deadlines, some milestones, such as I want to become an entrepreneur, I want to become a successful speaker, I want to become an author, or other things that get you to do things that don't necessarily connect back to physical health, but they require mental health, or maybe they require financial peace or financial well-being so that you can have the funds to do certain things. And what that does is it draws you into becoming more. And what we've learned is that the people that read this book, The Habits of Health, that go through the system, that plug into the community, they learn more and then they become more. And when they become more, they achieve more. And oftentimes when they achieve more, it makes them hungry to want to learn more and become more and achieve more. And I can tell you, after 10 years of, first not having any interest in reading a book that was 400 pages about health, to the point where I've learned to master a lot of the content, it's become part of my journey. And I hopefully awoke you to the idea that there is more in the book. We know most people don't like to read, but what's inside the book will become transformational if you'll take some of the principles and put it into your optimal life plan. If you start clarifying the places that you'd like to go and who you'd like to spend more time with, it'll begin to give you an imagination, and it'll maybe be a muscle that you have to develop. It may be something just like healthy nutrition. When you first start consuming some of those dreams and goals, it may not taste really good. You may need to become acclimated to the idea of having optimal life goals and optimal life dreams and aspirations and adventures that you're pursuing. But if you do it, and you keep doing it, and you share it with your coach or the person that invited you, if you're a brand new guest, they will help you to find out the details on how to go about making those a reality. No matter where you are, that's something that's possible for you. And Nick, if you could stop the screen share, I just want to show something, and I wanted to make it really visible for people, is that I want everybody, if you have a sheet of paper in front of you, I want you to take out a sheet of paper and a pen. If you don't have one, it's okay. It won't be that hard to remember. But I want you to take a sheet of paper and I want you to write down at the very top of the sheet of paper, why? Why do you want to be the healthiest version of you? Why does that matter to you? And then just beneath the word why, and make the word why bigger than the word what, because as Nick said, when the why is strong, the how becomes a whole lot easier. So make sure that you start with why. And then move down to what really matters to me. What would I like to be? What would I like to do? What would I like to have? Because those dreams will get you to do things that are uncomfortable. And when you're doing things in an uncomfortable way, they become more comfortable and they transform your life. And once you have the words why and what, just beneath the word what, write down the word when. Dreams without deadlines are like clouds in the sky. Henry David Thoreau, the great philosopher, said, "Have you built your castles in the sky? Good, that's where they should be. Now build the foundations underneath them." So just underneath the word when, write the word how. How am I going to go about doing this? And this is where your coach or the person that invited you will help you to clarify a plan. Our coaches are trained coaches. They understand how to clarify goals and how to clarify your why and how to help you to set deadlines. And once you understand how, it really isn't that hard because you've done all the other foundational work. And if you partner with the person that connected you to this webinar, that's the who. They can introduce you to a community of people that are ordinary people that are doing extraordinary things, that are living extraordinary lives, that are living optimal lives, healthy, abundant. They're not perfect people, but they're people that are positive. They're not people that are blaming and shaming and discounting your efforts. They're people that are applauding you when you get up on stage, and heck, they don't even know who you are. But they believe in you because you did something extraordinary. But at the very bottom is the word where. And if you don't know where you're at, and you don't know where you want to go, and you don't know why you want to go there, you probably don't need much of a coach because you're just in a state of not knowing. But if you take the time to reach out to the person that invited you to this webinar and you ask them for the well-being evaluation or a health assessment, that person can help you to start clarifying your why and start helping you to define what matters to you and really get specific about what it is that you want to accomplish to move you forward with specific deadlines and milestones to celebrate. Some people don't want to set milestones because they don't want to fail. But maybe failure was a part of living an optimal life and achieving optimal health because you actually set a deadline and maybe you failed to miss the deadline, but you keep moving forward and you keep learning how to create health and well-being in your life, and you forget about this concept of dieting or doing some sort of 8-week makeover program. You actually learn how to create lifelong transformation. So on behalf of Nick and myself, I hope that you have gotten a lot of good reasons of why to continue your journey. And we hope that this has been beneficial to you. Please, if you get a chance, share this video. If you're watching a recording of this, share this video with somebody else, and let's continue to get America healthy and then the world. Thanks so much, everybody, and appreciate all of your expertise, Nick.
Thank you so much for having me, David. It was amazing. Go get it, everybody.
This audio may have contained the personal testimonials of some Optavia coaches or clients of Optavia. The results relayed in these messages are based on the unique experiences of the participants, and we cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. While you may be inspired by these accounts, please note that any stories of success have not been verified and your individual path to optimal health will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you consult with a healthcare provider before starting a weight loss program. Yours in health, the Optavia team.